The chapter in the asterisk Mahabharata called Yaksha Prasnas has fascinated scholars for centuries. It features a deep and complex set of questions asked by a mythical creature called the Yaksha, and Yudhishthira's wise and thoughtful answers have been admired for their depth and dignity. As the Pandavas were nearing the end of their 12th year in exile, a Brahmin came to them with a problem. His Arani, a special wooden tool he used to create fire for his daily prayers, had been taken by a deer. The deer had gotten the tool stuck in its antlers and ran off with it. Feeling obligated to help, the Pandavas set out to find both the deer and the Arani. Despite their best efforts, they were unable to find the deer after a long, tiring search. They eventually sat down under a tree to rest. Bhima, frustrated, began to complain about their bad luck. "We have to move for even the smallest of things," he said. "We don't have anyone to help us, and we must take care of even the most basic tasks ourselves. In the past, we could provide hundreds of Aranis to the Brahmins, but now look at us." This moment reflects the struggle the Pandavas faced during their exile, where even simple acts of service became difficult due to their circumstances. It highlights their resilience and sense of duty, even when their resources were limited. As Bhima and his brothers continued their quest, he complained, "We've all set out on this trivial task as though we were trying to conquer the world, yet we can't even find it." Arjuna added, "Instead of blaming fate, we should take responsibility. We control our own destinies, after all. But right now, I'm exhausted and thirsty." Bhima replied, "I'm also hungry." Yudhishthira then instructed Nakula to climb a tree and search for any sign of water nearby. Nakula climbed up and observed, "I see cranes flying and some tall water plants. So there must be a pool in the southern direction." Yudhishthira asked Nakula to fetch some water. Nakula, equally thirsty, said, "I'll drink some first and then bring water back for everyone." When he reached the pool, just as he was about to drink, a voice warned from above, "Don't rush in. I am the Yaksha, guardian of this pool. You cannot drink without answering my questions." Ignoring the warning, Nakula drank the water and immediately collapsed unconscious. When Nakula didn't return, Yudhishthira sent Sahadeva, but the same thing happened. Then Arjuna went, and he too met the same fate. Confused and worried, Yudhishthira sent Bhima. Upon hearing the warning from the Yaksha, Bhima shouted, "Show yourself, coward! I'll break your head. This pool is a natural gift from God, and no one has the right to claim it as their own." Seeing no one around, Bhima drank the water. Instantly, his strength drained away, and he fell unconscious beside his brothers. Finally, Yudhishthira himself arrived at the pool and found his brothers lying on the ground, still and lifeless. They looked like fallen pillars from a once great celebration, their bodies intact but motionless. Overcome with grief, Yudhishthira wept, touching their limbs and kissing their faces. The mighty heroes lay there, peaceful and silent, with no signs of injury, as if they were simply sleeping. There was no sign of anger or struggle on the faces of his fallen brothers, nor were there any footprints or clues from man or beast on the sand. Yudhishthira was deeply disturbed by the mysterious tragedy. Though overwhelmed by grief, he managed to control his sorrow, which only intensified his thirst. Slowly, he approached the magical pool. Once again, the stern voice warned him, "Yudhishthira, your proud brothers ignored my warning and have met their end. If you answer my questions, you may drink the water." Yudhishthira replied, "My brothers did not fear death, and now, neither do I for one who has lost hope. Death is a welcome relief. However, it is my duty to answer your questions. For the last 12 years, scholars, sages, and wise men have sought my answers, and I must live up to their expectations. I will try to satisfy you as well. Please ask your questions." Yudhishthira knew this was his only chance to save the situation. As Yudhishthira stood alone at the edge of a forest pond, an invisible presence, the Yaksha, began to speak, testing him with questions that required more than simple knowledge. Each question delved into the depths of wisdom, the very essence of values and truths that govern life. The Yaksha's voice echoed from nowhere, asking, "What makes the sun shine every day? And what supports it?" Without hesitation, Yudhishthira responded, "The sun shines by the cosmic power of the Almighty Brahman, and truth is what supports it." The questions continued, testing Yudhishthira's courage, patience, and understanding of life's deeper meanings. "What helps a man when he is in danger?" came the next question. Yudhishthira answered, "Only courage saves a man when danger surrounds him." "And how does one become truly wise?" asked the Yaksha. Yudhishthira replied with calm certainty, "True wisdom isn't gained from books or theoretical learning alone. It is earned by spending time with the wise and experienced." The Yaksha's questions grew more probing. "Who is a living corpse?" he asked. Yudhishthira's answer came without delay. "One who eats for himself alone, without sharing with guests, servants, or the gods, is like a living corpse." And so the questions continued, each answer revealing Yudhishthira's depth of understanding and moral insight. "What is higher than the sky?" the Yaksha asked. "A father," Yudhishthira replied. "What is more valuable and supportive than the earth?" the question followed. Yudhishthira responded, "A mother."